Okay, so this is my recap for UFC 217. Michael Bisping versus GSP. Awesome fight. There was no boring spots in this fight. Usually the crowd starts to boo when the fight's taken to the ground. You know, but pretty much everybody thought this fight was awesome from the beginning to the end. I gave Michael round two. I clearly gave GSP round one and three. I thought that even though GSP lost to me, he lost round two. It was because he gave the round to Michael Bisping. Honestly, because of the conditioning. So if he had good conditioning, he probably would have stopped Michael Bisping in the second round. Um, he threw a Superman punch that was cool. He looked a little for me he looked a little chunky than usually, obviously because he's fighting at 185. He had Freddie Roach in his corner. I thought that was cool. For his striking. He got it in the third round. One thing that I guess shocked me the was basically how GSP. It looked like GSP had no rust. To me, it looked like he had no rust. He just looked a little older. That's it. Like I did not see the rust. After 4 years, everybody was making a big deal of the 4 year layoff, all that rust and stuff. Even Dominic Cruz had rust. Very little though. John Jones had more rust than Dominic Cruz, and he took less time than Dominic Cruz. He had like almost 2 years off. Dominic Cruz had like 3 years off, 2 years off, and Dominic Cruz he had some rust. GSP had little rust. John Jones had like a little bit more than usual rust, but that's how good GSP is. That's why he's a great fighter. He threw the overhand. He threw the right hand. He brutally knocked down um Michael Bisping. He could have said, right, get him up. Michael Bisping gets up. He's all wobbly. Boom, another right hand, and he goes down all the way. And that could have been the whole fight. And GSP, and what's more shocking, he took 4 years off. He comes back. He moves up in weight. He fights the champion. He did fight Dan Henderson. I'm not a huge fan of that fight. I'm not a huge fan of the. Well, that's pretty much it, right? He only had one title defense. The Anderson Silva fight was pretty close. The Anderson fight was pretty close. His best win is that Luke Rockhold win. In terms of it being like because he got him the title and it was like in 2016. Um, so if you, so he in my opinion he's not the best middleweight. In my opinion, Robert Whittaker is the best middleweight. I feel like if GSP went to decision and it was a really really close fight and maybe he got hurt, knocked down or something like that, and then if that was the case, I do not see him beating Robert Whittaker. But since he basically demolished Michael Bisping and after 4 years of being off, and Michael Bisping has a good chin, and he knocked down Michael Bisping. I can see him doing pretty good against Robert Whittaker now that I think about it. Whereas if because if GSP barely beat Michael Bisping, I have Robert Whittaker beating GSP. But since what GSP did to Michael Bisping this past weekend, I have GSP, doing pretty good against Robert Whitaker. Cause for the ground game, he just has so much more tools. He doesn't stick to that this predictable style like Robert Whitaker. Like you know what he's gonna do. He's gonna use his footwork. He's gonna do leg kicks, a few knees, a few elbows. You can train for Robert Whitaker easier than you can train for GSP. And GSP did really good. Like he outpointed a guy that just specializes in stand up, like Joanna and Cody. And that was what it took off in this past weekend. It was that it's hard to just have one style now because look, Joanna likes to stand up, right? She lost. Cody Garbrandt likes to stand up. He lost. Michael Bisping likes to stand up only. He lost. Joanna likes to use her hands only. In a few kicks, a few elbows, a few knees. But she mostly likes to jab. She has a great jab. Everybody's seen she has like the best jab of all time in the commentary and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, she lost. You know, Cody Garbrandt, he likes to box. He lost. Michael Bisping, he likes to box. He lost. TJ Dillashaw, he likes to do a little bit of everything. He won. Um, um, GSP, he likes to do a little bit of everything. He lost. Rose Namajunas, she likes to do a little bit of everything. No, GSP won. TJ Dillashaw won. And Rose Namajunas, she likes to do a little bit of everything. She won. Rose is good in the ground, and she's good standing up. GSP is good in the ground, and she's good standing up. Um, TJ Dillashaw is good at being in the ground, and he's good at being standing up. Joanna is good at being in the ground, not really, but she doesn't like being there. She only likes to be up. That's why she has good takedown defense. But but she, that's her, and that's why she lost, in my opinion. Because if she want, because she knew she was getting hurt, and she was pretty much on the verge of getting stopped. If you were a diverse fighter, the first thing you would do is try to take down Rose Namajunas, or try to get the fight to the ground and maybe get submission, or like take a break until the round's off. That's what you would do if you were in Joanna's spot. The same thing with Cody. If you were a diverse fighter and you were good in the ground and you like being in the ground and you were like fully equipped everywhere, getting knocked down by TJ Dillashaw, you would be stupid to stand up and keep going after him. What he should have done and trade with him after you just got knocked down and you might not be fully recovered. You should have taken TJ down or try to bait him to the ground. Something that Fabricio Verdum does, Damian Maya does it, where like they pretend they got knocked down and then you jump on top of them and they submit you. I'm not saying that Cody can do that, but he should have clinched. He should have gone. He just doesn't like to be in the ground. He doesn't like to be on his back. He doesn't like to be the nail. He always wants to be the hammer. Joanna always wants to be the hammer. Um, Cody always wants to be the hammer. Michael Bisping always wants to be the hammer. GSP, if you go forward, he goes backwards. If you go backwards, he goes forward, right? Michael Bisping, if you go forward, he goes forward. If you go backwards, he goes forward. So he's always going forward. Joanna's always going forward. I know they have good footwork, but they're always going forward. They're always throwing strikes. They're always trying to hit your head. Like Joanna goes to the body, but not that much. Michael Bisping, he'll kick you to the body, and he'll hit you every once in a while to the body. Cody Garbrandt will hit you to the body, but I'm not trying to say that they're one dimensional, but you can tell that they don't like. You can tell that Joanna just likes to strike. Because that's just she did Muay Thai, but but now that she fought a girl that is amazing at jiu-jitsu, she's amazing at clinching, and like Joanna, like Joanna. But the difference here is that if it was the other way around, and Rose got knocked down by Joanna, she still has a chance in the ground. If Joanna gets on top of her and starts doing ground and pound, she can still get submission. She has different ways of winning. Like TJ Dillashaw, that guy's so good at jiu-jitsu. He has so many different ways of winning. GSP, he's good at jiu-jitsu too. He likes to be in the ground. Look at his fight with Johnny Hendricks. You know, TJ Dillashaw got taken down by Dominic Cruz. Look at TJ Dillashaw's fight with John Lineker, like where that fight was mostly in the ground, and he knew that was his. He knew that if he took John Lineker to the ground, he would have a lot of success, because John Lineker reminds me of Cody, where they just want to stand up and like trade, and get a knockout. Like Joanna too, she just wants to like stand, use her footwork so you won't get a hold of her and take her to the ground, because she doesn't like being in the ground. Cody doesn't like being in the ground. Michael Bisping doesn't like being in the ground. TJ Dillashaw likes being in the ground. He likes standing up. He likes doing all these different weird things like GSP and Rose. Look at Rose. She got a head kick. She got a choke. Look at the way Rose trains. Look at the way GSP trains. They just don't stand up and try to knock your head off. So I just think that Joanna needs to pay needs to have more game plans. Like Cody as well and Michael Bisping as well, because you just lost to these guys, right? But Rose, GSP, and TJ, they've been fighting for so long already. Imagine these kids that are coming up, and they're gonna beat TJ, GSP. Robert might knock out GSP. Somebody like Jimmy Rivera that's coming up might knock out Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw. Who else? In the strawweight division? Like Paige Van Zandt, even though she got choked by Rose, next thing you know, she's coming up. She fights Rose, and she head kicks Rose, and Rose goes down. And because Rose is still super young, she can still do that. You kind of just have to move with the MMA wind of learning new tricks. If you don't like to do them, then just know that they're there, and that somebody can throw them. Yair Rodriguez can come in and do a 360 spin and kick the back of your head, and you go down. You should just know that he can do that. You should just know that Yair Rodriguez can, jump from across the octagon and knock you out with his knee. Or with look at how Yair Rodriguez knocked out Andrew Philly. Andrew Philly didn't see that coming. He didn't see that in his camp. It just came out of nowhere, because that was like a secret. All these guys are having secret weapons. Not a lot of people are catching up to it. So some quick thoughts on this recap. Awesome fight. For me, I had GSP winning anyways, but a lot of people, they were kind of shocked and in the way he did it. I was shocked in the way he got the win as well. Definitely better than I thought he was gonna get the win. Great card. Can't wait to see GSP versus Robert Whittaker. I want to see what Joanna does next. I want to see what Rose does next. What TJ and Cody do next. Great fight card. Best of the year. Definitely best of the year. Because every fight was, James Vick knocking out Joe Duffy. That was all. Every fight was pretty much awesome. Johnny Hendricks' fight was awesome. Jorge Masvidal, Wonder Boy, a great chess match. He gets knocked down. Jorge Masvidal gets knocked down in the second or third round. Great card. Thanks for watching. Peace.